back to my channel. I've got another fun and information-packed video for you guys today. I've got Pearl. Yay. I'm sure most of you probably know of Pearl, heard of Pearl. Do you want to tell us a bit about what you do?
Yeah, of course. So my name is Pearl. I think most people straight away know me for my food because I like to cook and I like to play around with different food and ingredients. By background, I'm a registered nurse. I used to work in dialysis and renal. And I'm also a registered nutritionist, and I currently work for Diabetes UK.
I really wanted you to come on the show or on the video today because I wanted us to talk about a couple of important things that I've come across over my health journey. One of them mainly being orthorexia. So I came across, so you guys know that I look at like the news app, and there's like a health bit on there, and I always look at what's in the news this week. And there was an article saying this woman became obsessed with eating healthily, and it actually made her, put her in a negative situation where she just basically was just like obsessed with eating healthy food, and she couldn't like, things like going out with friends, she didn't want to do, she didn't want to like, you know, go to family socials. Christmas was a problem because it's like, oh, I have to eat healthy, so I know it's going to be there. So in your journey of like nutrition and like, I guess, talking to people or meeting people with your job and stuff as well, have you come across orthorexia? Does it exist? Is it a thing?
Yeah. I haven't come across orthorexia myself, but I do know what it is, and I've probably seen people's stories and seen how they've come out of orthorexia and what they did whilst they were, can I say orthorexic? But orthorexia is basically, it's an insane, if I can say, obsession about eating pure foods. The food needs to be unprocessed, and it's the belief that you can't let anything contaminate this, you're striving towards a healthy lifestyle. The food needs to be pure, unprocessed, and sometimes it is governed as well by, not governed, but you're fueled by social media. You're fueled by little knowledge that you do have of eating, and then it becomes compulsive, so then you feel like, this is what people are doing, this is what I need to do, this is how I achieve this health status, whatever you're trying to achieve. Yeah, and there's, so like the lady who you read about in the news, there's been other stories as well. There was a well-known lady called Jordan Young. She's from the UK, I don't know which part, but she has a large following on her Instagram. She's well known in the nutrition and in the dietetics field because she was pursuing this vegan lifestyle, and you know, of course, you know, she had a lot of followers who also wanted to learn her recipes and learn the way that she's eating. But behind this pursuit of the vegan lifestyle, she was becoming very obsessive with what she ate. She, like you just described in your story as well, she couldn't attend like social events or interactions with family because she was scared that if she ate something that was against her belief of healthy eating, it wouldn't make her feel good. But you know, as we should know, and as hopefully we understand, that you can eat any type of food as long as you're not allergic, or as long as you don't have any intolerances. You can have, and as long as you like the food, of course, you can. These foods can be part of your diet, but it's just this belief that it's not good for me. It will make me impure if I eat this, and why it's called. So it's an eating disorder, a newfound eating disorder, and I think why it's called an eating disorder is because it affects your physical, emotional and mental well-being, and that's what makes it diagnosable, that's what makes it dangerous, because you can no longer function normally because you're obsessed and something is stopping you from, so you might hear terms such as clean eating, you know, hashtag clean eating.
We've all heard that.
Even, you know, before when I started my whole nutrition journey, etc., I was not obsessed, but I was interested in this idea of clean eating. So I would think, okay, if it's not part of, if it doesn't have good carbs, good fat, good protein, it's not good for me. So it's not clean. And I'm not going to say I had orthorexia, but orthorexia is that, but to the extreme. You know, to the extreme.
I do want to say those things like hashtag clean eating, but also like people thinking that I need to eat this certain way, maybe because of what other people have posted. So like do you think social media plays a part in that? Because as you said, when you started your nutrition journey, it was kind of like, I need to look for the good carbs, or the bad, you know, watch out for the bad carbs. But a lot of the times people don't actually speak to nutritionists or dietetics to find out what good carbs are. A lot of people find it, when I started my fitness and like my weight loss journey, I never went to a nutritionist. I never went to a dietitian. I went to social media, and it was like that girl posted that sweet potatoes are the good carbs. I mean, for me, because obviously from like my background, I know that it's got to be evidence based, right? So I would go and do my extra research, but a lot of people don't know that.
Yeah.
So they take it as, oh, Shaun T posted sweet potatoes is the good one, so I'm gonna eat that. And sometimes it's not just Shaun T; it could be someone else that's not even in the fitness industry per se. So what role does social media play in this?
And that's a huge danger of social media, because anyone can say anything, especially when you have a large following. People will just absorb that information and take it as truth and take it as fact and run away from it, and you don't know the impact that's going to have on that person's life. In terms of orthorexia, nutrition and eating, social media plays a large negative and also positive, but I wish we can use it more for the positive. When people want to find that information through nutrition or dietetics, if we take out Google, because we all do our Googles, which is good, we do look at people on social media, we do look at celebrities and what they're eating and what they're endorsing, what new diet is there, celery, tomato, celery cleanse, we get all of this from the social media. There's this psychological theory called the Dunning-Kruger effect.
I think I've heard of that.
So the Dunning, I think, and it's so popular, I think, in the health and wellness industry. It's basically, the Dunning-Kruger effect is, so you know a little bit of information, but in your mind you feel like you know so much more, and your confidence levels has increased because of this small bit of information that you have. And I definitely had my Dunning-Kruger moment. I had my journey. So I think this was just before I started studying nutrition. I was so interested in food. I am interested in food, but I wanted to learn more about food and how it interacts with our body and the science behind it. So I had a little bit of information, and I started sharing all of this information. This is good, this is bad, this is not good for you, cut this out of your diet. And I think every nutritionist probably at one point in their journey has that. And then the more I began to study, and when I finished studying, it's actually like, whoa, you realise how much you don't know at all. Yes, you've learnt the fundamentals, but you need your practice, you need your clients. You learn more by engaging with people and by hearing people's stories and treating people. So then it's like, okay, you have this whole degree, but actually I don't know, there's more that I can learn. So then you become not less confident, but then I like to say that you just regulate yourself more. You're careful of what you say, and you're careful of what you put out there, because now people are looking at you, you studied nutrition. Oh, so that means you must know. But no, I want to make sure I'm giving you the right advice. So I'm going to be careful of what I say and do my research and make sure what I'm saying is evidence-based. So just in terms of social media, I feel like there are a lot of people who, as soon as we get that small bit of information, we share it as facts. This is what this has said. This is what this one study said, and therefore it's true.
It's true, And I think a lot of, I would say, like in this day and age as well, there's a lot of things that are coming out as new evidence that a lot of social media people have put out as, oh, this is actually how it should be. That's what something on Instagram recently about like salt, for example. There was the whole Himalayan pink salt movement where everybody was like, that's the healthier form. Even me, I got caught up in that. And not to say, I mean, I still use it sometimes, once in a while. I try to not use as much salt, I just use seasoning and stuff like that. But there was that whole phase of, it's Himalayan salt, so everybody was going crazy over Himalayan salt.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that was.
There was a sweet potato craze where it's like, oh my gosh, sweet potatoes on it. You know, there was like, there's all these things, but we're putting, as you said, putting things out as facts, and then people take it as gospel and then run with that. And one thing I've learned is like, everyone's different. So I can't eat the way Sally's eating or the way she's posting on her Instagram. So Sally might say that avocados every morning is how it should be, and then someone else takes that.
It's expensive though, isn't it? It's not achievable. I mean, unless you can safely, afford that lifestyle. But sometimes these things are expensive. Or turmeric, it is good for our health, but you need to eat it in large quantities, and that's why it's expensive, because it is good for our health. But
And I think it's important to, as you mentioned, like just not taking everything as this is a fact, because unless you approach a specialist or someone who knows, then we never know. So in regards or in relation to being orthorexic, it's a case of, is it healthy? Is it healthy for me to be obsessing over eating eggs and avocado every morning versus maybe sometimes having toast? Toast, and like, it's obviously not a healthy place to be. It affects our mental, emotional. You don't get to have, and I think I experienced that at the beginning of my weight loss journey, where even like Pizza Hut, I don't want to go there because we're safe to eat at Pizza Hut. It's like bread, and there's like pepperoni and the oily meats and stuff like that. So it's not healthy, but social media is playing a big impact. So I guess my next question is just around like, how do we then confirm what we should be eating? So for example, someone wants to start a fitness journey or weight loss journey or just a health journey overall, like social media is normally the first place. For me, social media was the first place. I got my motivation from seeing people, because I was in Insanity at the time. So I got my motivation from seeing people posting about Insanity and Shakeology and all this stuff. So like, where should I now go for information?
So in the same way that when people start their fitness journey or their fitness or gym journey, we go to a personal trainer.
Not everyone goes to personal trainer.
Not everyone, and again, it's if I had a personal trainer when I first started my fitness journey. This was like many years ago. But since then, I've been able to learn. I've taken on what they've taught me, and I've learned and I've adapted, and I now know what to do and what not to do. So the same with our nutrition and our diet. If it's within your means, it would be great if you can see a registered nutritionist. So they treat the general public. They normally work for private sectors or public health, or you can find them really if you Google them as well. But make sure you check that they are registered with the AFN. I'll just say quickly, the difference with a registered nutritionist and a dietitian is that a dietitian will treat someone normally who has a medical condition. So they will normally work in many places, but mainly in hospital or clinics and the clinical setting. Likewise, if you're in that position, you can also see a dietitian if you have a medical condition that is dietary related. So if within your means you can see a nutritionist, that's absolutely great, because you can trust the information that they're going to give you is helpful and individual, and it's not just another meal plan. It's not just another, here's a
That's another thing
subscription.
as well.
It's not just another.
A lot of people actually put out, and this is something that I realised, I almost got into the habit of doing that myself, doing meal plans for people.
I guess the key thing I'm trying to say is health and nutrition is individual to you.
100%.
Yes, we can give general advice, and yes, there is general guidelines, like the Public Health England guidelines of what we should eat, what's good for us, what we should minimise. But if you want to know, your diet based on your movements throughout the week and what time you come home and what you don't really like to, you can create an individual meal plan based on your best choices. To suit your lifestyle, to suit your family's lifestyle as well. That's what I mean by an individual meal plan, not just another prescription. Not just another sweet potatoes, oats in the morning, chicken for dinner. And all those three are great foods. But so apart from healthcare professionals, you do have resources such as the Nutrition Society. There's websites out there which can easily explain the foods that are good for us and foods that we should incorporate more of into our diet. Also, the Eat Well plate, though that has received a lot of
I was thinking.
though it has received a lot, it is a tool that Public Health England has devised for the general public in the UK. And it is really helpful. If we take out the time to look at it, we'll see, we'll understand, okay, this is what it's trying to say. Even on social media, you do have nutrition experts and nutrition professionals and dietitians who can advise what you should eat, etc. So there's so many different outlets, so many sources.
For people who maybe have copied for a long time, who maybe have just gone along with how so-and-so is eating, but they actually don't feel good in that way.
So if you are like an athlete or very fitness orientated, I guess that's where I would see traits of where you are eating for the aesthetic and eating for the performance, and you're more restrictive over what you would eat.
But then that's, I think for athletes it's for a season. So for example,
and that
if you're training, if the Olympics are coming up, I'm sure that So even like footballers, for example, like when games are coming up, they might be eating maybe more carbs or whatever. I know for example, people who maybe do body competitions, they restrict their water intake and stuff like that because they want to be at their leanest. But for a day-to-day person, like I know people who want to be lean, or maybe they've achieved this lean look and they want to stay lean, so they continue to restrict, but actually they don't feel good. So it's like I'm eating spinach with every meal, but I'm going to it all the time. Or like, you know, I'm eating like half a potato a day, and that's my only carb intake. And I'm tired, like I'm lethargic, I don't have energy, I'm not happy.
I guess that is sad to hear. But I guess what is a person trying to achieve? And if you haven't thought about your mental well-being and whatever you're trying to achieve, then you need to almost reverse what you're trying to do. Because now you've attained this physical image that you wanted to achieve, but then you have other side effects of feeling emotional or depressed, or you can't go to social events, or you're scared of if someone offers you a birthday celebration cake and you have to reject it because it's out of your carbohydrate limits for the day. It just, you know, we're scared of the word balance, but balance does come into play.
Yeah, 100%. And I think also one thing that you did say about mental well-being, I think a lot of times and I say social media because I feel like it has played a big role in obviously body images and stuff. And I think that there's that whole we are trading mental well-being for an aesthetic look. In the sense that I don't care how this affects me emotionally. I just want to look like Massey. Like I want a six-pack.
Everyone's different. Exactly. And that's the thing. Everyone's different. And healthiness and how we look healthy can be different to, I mean, whether we're healthy or not can look different to someone else. So bodybuilders can be healthy compared to an endurance runner. They look completely different. And they have their own measurements of health. So in terms of me wanting to look like Massey Arias is a well-known American fitness athlete. She's amazing. I love her drive. I love her energy. But I can't look. I mean, I probably could if I really, really tried. But is that what I want to achieve?
But also, can that be maintained? Because a lot of people can achieve someone else's body frame. But the question is, can you? Because I always tell people, maintenance is not. I don't want to say worse, but it's so much harder than actually works. When I was losing weight, 5 pounds a month was coming up every month.
But then how do you maintain?
But when you get to, the closer you get to a smaller weight, the harder it is to actually maintain it. And it's so much easier to go back than it is to, you know what I mean?
To relapse.
So yes, we can achieve that lean body, but are we happy? Are we going to be, can you eat like that for the rest of your life and be happy? And also one of the important things, just looking at it medically, is like women, a lot of women want this abs thing, and they want this lean body, and that's all great, but what you don't realise is, first of all, everyone has abs. You just need to get rid of the fat on top of the abs. Now, when you hit a low body fat percentage, that's quite dangerous for women. And I think a lot of people don't realise that if I have a 4% body fat percentage as a woman, my periods are going to be affected. Being pregnant is going to be an issue. There's going to be so many other things, mental, emotional.
And I think that's so important that you even share more about that. I don't feel like people do know the implications of trying to achieve these low body fat percentages. Like you said, even the lady who I mentioned earlier on, who was orthorexic, she was in denial that she had this eating disorder until she finally realised that her periods had stopped. So her menstruation cycle, was no longer existed. And she spoke to her friend, and she finally went to go and seek help. Medical help. So
I think it's you're trading for an aesthetic look, you're trading mental wellness and overall wellness. So when I look at people with 4% body fat, I'm like, I don't want that, because we need fat. Like fat is so important.
But a key thing that you said is maintaining this image, or maintaining this weight that you've actually achieved. And that is one of the hardest parts, and that's the danger sometimes of all of the fad diets that we have out now, because once you've lost all the weight through whatever diet you took, whether it was a juice cleanse, a 5-2, paleo diet, keto diet, there's so many fad diets out there. Fine, you've now achieved this ideal weight loss of, let's say, I don't know, 5 kg, 10 kg, however. how do you then maintain that weight afterwards? Because the maintenance of, you're more prone to health risk if you're increasing your weight, if you're now becoming overweight, if you're eating more, if you're becoming overweight and obese. That's when your health risk does increase. But if you've now lost weight, okay, how do you then maintain this weight? Are you exercising enough? When you now introduce real solid foods again, are you creating that balance? Are you, and that's one of the scary things of the fad diets that people put themselves on, is it's only for a period, fine, but then when you now introduce the normal foods again, just how are you looking after your health in that maintenance state?